So the topic will be the digestive system. So let's start defining what is the digestive system. So it changes food you eat into nutrients that your cells can use. So once you eat, the food will be broken down into smaller substances or smaller molecules, and then it will be absorbed by your small intestine. So this is what we call now the alimentary canal. So this term, it refers to the complete digestive system, the parts that are involved in the process of digestion and absorption of nutrients. So this alimentary canal, um, it pertains to the major parts or the major organs that are involved in the process of digestive system, in the process of digestion. It is from mouth to rectum. So what are the functions of this digestive system? First is ingestion. So when we say ingestion, this is the act of putting food into the mouth. So it occurs when materials enter the digestive tract via the mouth. The next function of your digestive system is what we call now the mechanical processing. So mechanical processing is crushing and shearing that makes materials easier to propel along your digestive tract. So, like for example, the physical property of food, the size, the shape. So, tearing and mashing the food with the teeth, followed by squashing and compaction by the tongue. That's the example of mechanical processing. Then one of the most important functions of your digestive system is the process of digestion. So chemical breakdown, this is the chemical breakdown of food into smaller organic fragments suitable for absorption by the digestive epithelium. So for example, the starches in a potato are of no value until enzymes have broken them down into simple sugars that your digestive epithelium can absorb and distribute to your cells. Then, secretion. Secretion is the release of water, acids, enzymes, buffers, and salts by the epithelium of your digestive tracts and by your glandular organs. So, as the digestion and absorption process takes place, then your body or the epithelium of your digestive tracts and glandular organs release some substances that's so important to facilitate the process of digestion and absorption. Then absorption is the movement of digested food molecules through the gut wall, okay, to your alimentary canal into your bloodstream. And then the last is the process of excretion. So when you say excretion, this is the removal of waste products from the body fluid. So most of the waste products, after mixing with the indigestible residue of the digestive process, it will leave the body. So the ejection of materials from the digestive tract is called the what we call now the defecation or egestion. So it eliminates materials as feces. So these are the six functions of your digestive system. So the digestive organs and the peritoneum. So the abdominal pelvic cavity, okay, contains what we call now this peritoneal cavity, which is lined by what we call now the serous membrane. Mga membranes na yan. So the serous membrane is divided into two. Meron tayong tinatawag na serosa or the visceral peritoneum, and then the other one is the parietal peritoneum. So the serosa or the visceral peritoneum, it is the one that covers within the one that covers the peritoneal cavity. And then the visceral and then the parietal, okay, the the parietal peritoneum is the one that lines the inner surfaces of the wall. So, what's the importance of the serous membrane is that it produces yung tinatawag nating peritoneal fluid. So, this fluid, it's so important for lubrication. So, it is about 7 liters of fluid a day and it is being reabsorbed each day. So, but once you have your liver or kidney disease and heart failure, fluids move into what we call now your peritoneal cavity. So, nagkakaroon ng accumulation of fluid, creates a characteristic abdominal swelling. Ganyan yung nangyayari. Okay, and this is what we call, the condition is what we call now the ascites. So, these ascites will result to heartburn, indigestion, and even lower back pain. So, these ascites will really affect your digestive system. So, these are the two divisions of the digestive system. Meron tayong tinatawag na alimentary canal. As I have said, these are the major organs that are involved in the process of digestion and absorption. And then the other one is what we call now your accessory organs. So these accessory organs, they will just only help in the process of digestion and absorption. So especially in uh, the digestion and of course absorption of nutrients. So your alimentary canal, it starts from your mouth, then going to your pharynx or your throat, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and the last part will be the large intestine. And some of these helpers of the digestive system are the teeth, the tongue, the salivary glands, gallbladder, pancreas, and liver. So these are the two divisions of the digestive system. So let's start with the alimentary canal. So we have the oral cavity or the buccal cavity. So this is the structure of the oral cavity. So the oral cavity is being lined by what we call now the oral mucosa. So especially the oral mucosa or the stratified squamous epithelium. So this epithelial lining of the cheeks, lips, and inferior surface of the tongue is relatively thin, non-keratinized, and very delicate. So, although nutrients are not absorbed in the oral cavity, the inferior surface of the tongue is thin enough and vascular enough to permit the rapid absorption of a certain drug like nitroglycerin and block yung mga gamot for hypertension. Kaya usually nilalagay below the tongue because it facilitates faster absorption of these drugs. And then this is the diagram of your oral cavity. So meron tayong tinatawag na vestibule. So this vestibule is the space between the cheeks and lips and the teeth. And then the gingivae, or in other terms, we call it as the gums. So these are the ridges of oral mucosa that surround the base of each teeth of the maxillary and the mandible bones. Then the roof of the oral cavity andito is formed by the what we call now the hard palate and the soft palate. So the soft palate moves during the process of swallowing. So there is what we call now the hanging. Okay, there is a hanging from the soft palate, and this is what we call the uvula. So what's the function of this? It prevents the food from entering the nasal cavity. So that is so important. So this is the diagram of your oral cavity. So what are the functions? Number one, analysis of material before swallowing. So like for example, kung may kanin na yung isang, for example, while you are chewing the rice, so the oral cavity analyzes yung kung may bato pa yung kinakain mo or notice it na. So, that's one of the functions of the oral cavity and the tongue. So, they analyzes the material before you swallow. Then, mechanical processing. Through the actions of the teeth, okay, tongue, and the palatal surfaces. Kaya na-execute yung mechanical processing. And then for lubrication, yes, by mixing with mucus and salivary gland secretions. And then the last one, limited digestion of carbohydrates and lipids. So it's for digestion. So because of the presence of amylase in the saliva. Kaya sa bunganga pa lang, there is already the start of digestion. So these are the functions of the oral cavity or the buccal cavity. So the tongue. The tongue is also one of the accessories or helpers of the digestive system. So what are the functions of this? Mechanical processing by compression. Okay, mechanical processing or by compression, abrasion, and distortion. Then, more for manipulation. Okay, manipulation meaning it assists in chewing and prepare material for swallowing. And then sensory analysis, of course, like temperature, mga taste receptors natin. Okay, sensory analysis. Secretion of mucins and lingual lipase. So, these mucins, these are actually primarily responsible for the lubricating action of the saliva. And then the lingual lipase, um, it's the pH, okay? The pH, uh, tawag dito, there is a pH here which is the 3 to 6 normal pH, and it starts lipid digestion immediately. This lingual lipase, okay, lipid digestion. It helps in for the lipid digestion in the mouth. Then the tongue contains a forest fine projections, which is called the lingual papillae. Okay, mga lingual papillae. So each papilla assists the tongue in moving materials. So the V shape here, the V shape here, um, the V-shaped line of this circumvallate papillae indicates the boundary between the body and the root of the tongue. And then in the tongue, meron tayong tinatawag na lingual frenulum. So this lingual frenulum, it connects the body of the tongue to the mucosa covering the floor of the oral cavity. So what's the function of this is to prevent extreme movement of the tongue. Ito, the lingual frenulum. So however, if your lingual frenulum is too restrictive, okay, you cannot eat or speak normally. Kaya, very important yung lingual frenulum natin. Then, the tongue muscles. Okay, the tongue muscles, they are mostly skeletal. Okay, they are mostly skeletal muscles which consist of which divides into extrinsic and the intrinsic muscles. So these intrinsic tongue muscles, the function is to change the shape of the tongue. And then this extrinsic muscle, okay, it's for precise movement as in speech. Ganon, like, okay, yun yung pagkakaiba ng extrinsic and the intrinsic muscles. These these two muscles, they are being controlled by nerve 12, which is the hypoglossal nerve. Then, another gland is the salivary glands. Okay, so the salivary glands, we have three classifications, or there are three salivary glands in our buccal cavity, which we have the parotid, the submandibular, and sublingual glands. The function of this is to produce the saliva. Okay, so these are the salivary glands. These are the major salivary glands. First, we have your parotid gland. So this parotid gland is considered to be the largest salivary gland. So it produces a thick, thick serosecretion containing large amounts of salivary amylases. So this salivary amylases is so important for the breakdown of complex carbohydrates. Yan. And this parotid, it produces 25% of saliva. Yan, 25% of saliva. And the parotid and the saliva that is being produced by the parotid gland is drained by what we call now the parotid duct, or sometimes we call it as the Stensen's duct. Next, we also have here the sublingual gland. So this sublingual gland, just below your tongue, it produces watery mucus secretion that acts as buffer and lubricant. So pag sinabi mong buffer, it maintains the pH, okay, the pH level, which should be near 7. And the sublingual produces only 5% of your saliva. Once the sublingual gland produces saliva, then it is drained by what we call now the sublingual glands. Okay, it is being sublingual ducts, I should say, or sometimes we call it as the ravenous ducts. Then the third is what we call now your submandibular gland. Okay, it produces a mixture of buffers, mucin, and salivary amylase. So mostly 70% of the saliva is being produced by the submandibular gland. So once it produces saliva, it is being drained by what we call now the submandibular gland, or we term it as the Wharton's ducts. Okay, so these are the salivary glands. Your saliva is you produce saliva 1 to 1.5 liters a day. Yan, ganun siya kadami. And then the saliva contains 99.4% of water and 0.6 electrolytes, buffers, mucins, antibodies, enzymes, and even waste products. So what are the functions of the saliva? So of course, it moistens and lubricates the mouth. What else? It contains antibodies, the IgA, and lysozymes that help control populations of oral bacteria. So that's one. So that's saliva is so important because it carries also not just acts as a lubricant, but it contains important enzymes that will help in the process of uh, digestion, and also uh, for dito it helps in controlling the growth of bacteria, oral bacteria. So eto na, it initiates digestion of complex carbohydrates and lipids. So another accessory that is located in your oral cavity is the teeth. So teeth, what are the functions of it? We have the mastication of food, chewing of food. So if in the process of mastication, it breaks down tough connective tissues in meat and the plant fibers in vegetable matter. So it also helps saturate the materials with salivary secretions and enzymes. So these are the parts of the teeth. We have the crown, okay, the crown, the neck, and the root. So this is the crown, which is the exposed portion of the tooth. Okay, the crown is the exposed portion of the tooth, and it is being covered by what we call now the enamel. So the enamel, it contains the enamel, it does not contain living cells. So it cannot, since it does not contain living cells, it cannot repair damage from decay or from wear. And then the enamel contains what we call now the calcium phosphate. So somewhat like the calcium phosphate is the hardest biologically manufactured substance. It's the one that protects the enamel. Then we have the neck of the tooth. So the neck of the tooth marks now the boundary between the root and the crown. So, yeah, it's the boundary. Then, meron din tayong tinatawag dito in that gums. Okay? In that gums dito, meron tayong tinatawag dito ng gingival sulcus. So this gingival sulcus, it's a shallow groove that surrounds the neck of each tooth. So when you brush and massage your gums, andito, when you massage your gums, you stimulate the epithelial cells and strengthen the attachment. Kaya maganda. So not just only brush your teeth, but also you have to clean also the gums. So there is what we call now condition na gingivitis. So when you say gingivitis, it's a bacterial infection of the gingivae which can occur if the attachment breaks down. Yun. And then the last division is the root. So it's a part of the tooth inside the bone socket. So in this part, meron siyang tinatawag na dentin. Okay, ito. Dentin, which is a hard tissue located beneath the enamel. So, when dentin loses its protective covering, yung tinatawag nating enamel, kaya take good care of the enamel, it's the protective covering of your teeth. The tubules allow heat and cold or acidic or even sticky foods to stimulate the nerves and cells inside the tooth, causing sensitivity. Iso nga nasakit no kwa. Kaya once na nasira yung enamel niya, ma-expose ngayon yung mga nerve endings or yung mga nerves dito sa parts ng root, kaya sumasakit yung pag malamig na tubig and even heat or even mga sticky foods, mas sumasakit yung ngipin if natatouch yung mga blood vessels yan. Kaya very important yung enamel not to expose yung mga nerve endings. Yung cementum, meron tayong tinatawag dito na cement or cementum. These are the coverings of the dentin of the root. So it is for protection. And then the pulp cavity, this contains now the nerve, the blood vessels, and even the connective tissues. And then the root canal, this is the root canal. It contains the pulp cavity. So these are the parts of a tooth. So there are types of teeth. Okay, so yan. The incisors or incisors, ito sila. These are blade-shaped teeth located at the front of the teeth. So ang function niya is for clipping or cutting. And then, it's a single root. Then, cuspids, or sometimes we call it as the canine. Okay, so these are conical with a sharp ridge line and a pointed teeth. So, we use it as for tearing or slashing. And then the bicuspids, or we call it as the premolars. So these, since they are flat, okay, with prominent ridges, so ginagamit din siya for crushing, mashing, and grinding. They have one or two roots. And then the molars, these are large, okay, malalaki. They are flattened crowns with prominent ridges. So they are for crushing and grinding. And they have usually 3 or more roots. Kaya mas mahirap tanggalin itong mga to. Okay. So, these teeth, for children, their teeth is called the deciduous teeth. Okay, for children, yung mga ngipin nila, we call it muna as deciduous teeth. Why? Because these are just only primary teeth, milk teeth, baby teeth. Parang kasi natatanggal pa sila, na-fall off pa lang tong mga to. But these teeth will later be replaced by the adult secondary dentition. Yun yung tinatawag na nating permanent dentition. So, yung makokompleto na talaga sila. Okay? Yung ngipin natin. Then, once once you put your food into your mouth through the process of ingestion, then when you swallow the food, then it passes to the second part of the alimentary canal, which is the pharynx. So it's a common passageway for solid food, liquids, and even air. So the pharynx, okay, this is the pharynx, which a chamber shaped by the digestive and four respiratory systems. So there are 3 divisions: the naso, the oro, and the laryngopharynx. So the nasopharynx, it's the superior portion of the pharynx, and which is being lined by pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Then the oropharynx, it's extend between the soft palate and the base of the tongue. Oro, kaya parang somewhat like a part of your mouth, oral. And then laryngopharynx, it's the inferior portion. It's somewhat like connected also to the larynx. Okay, so these are the 3 regions of the pharynx. Then we also have here the pharyngeal muscles. We have the superior constrictor. Okay, this is the superior constrictor, or somewhat we call it as the pharyngeal constrictor muscles. So, what is their function is they push the bolus toward the esophagus. Pag sinabi mong bolus, these are chewed food already. Yung kinakain natin, then we swallow it, we call it now the chewed food or the bolus. And then the palatopharyngeus, okay, and the and then the stylopharyngeus muscles, they elevate the larynx. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag na deglutition. The deglutition, or we call it as the swallowing. So swallowing can also occur unconsciously as saliva collects at the back of the mouth. Kaya pag nakakita kayo, kung naglalaway kayo, there is the swallow that is unconsciously swallowing. Approximately, you do deglutition or swallowing for 2,400 times a day. Okay, you see, 2,400 times a day. Okay. Then, next, we have the esophagus. So the esophagus is a hollow muscular tube with a length of approximately 25 centimeters or 1 feet and a diameter of about 2 centimeters or 0.75 inches. So these are just passageway. Okay, they carry solid food and liquids to the stomach. So, meron tayong mga tinatawag na mga esophageal sphincters. So, once these esophageal sphincters wherein they tawag dito, they close or it opens it pag may mga dadaan na mga chewed food or bolus. Para hindi pabalik-balik, to maintain the what we call now the one flow of the chewed food or one flow direction of the chewed food. Ito yung mga tinatawag nating mga sphincters. Then, deglutition. Okay, this is the swallowing. So, this one, deglutition or the swallowing, it's a complex process whose initiation can be voluntary controlled. Okay, can be voluntary controlled, but that proceeds automatically once it begins. Yan. So, in this process, there are three divisions of deglutition. If you swallow, there are three processes. So, the first one is, there are three divisions, I should say. The first one is the buccal. So, there is the compression of the bolus against the hard palate. So, this is strictly voluntary. So, once the bolus enters the oropharynx, okay, nandun na siya sa tinatawag na buccal phase. And then, the next is the pharyngeal phase. Okay, so bolus comes into contact with the pharyngeal muscles. So, it takes less than a second for the pharyngeal muscles to propel the bolus into the esophagus. So, during this period, during this phase, the respiratory centers are inhibited and breathing stops. And then the third is the esophageal phase. So, contraction of the pharyngeal muscles forces the bolus through the entrance to the esophagus. So, once in the esophagus, the bolus is pushed toward the stomach by what we call now the peristaltic wave. So, the approach of the bolus triggers the lower esophageal sphincter to open, then continue going now to the second part, which is the stomach. So, ganito yung nangyayari in the process of peristalsis waves or peristaltic movement. Okay, nagkakaroon ng muscle contractions. So once there is muscle contractions in the esophagus, it pushes food through the digestive system, going to your specifically to your stomach. So what are the functions of the stomach? So we have for bulk storage of indigested food. It stores food, mechanical breakdown of ingested food, and disruption of chemical bonds in food material through the action of acids and enzymes, and of course, the production of what we call now the intrinsic factor for the absorption of vitamin B12. So this is the structure of the this is the structure of what we call now the stomach. Okay. So, eto, yan. So, as you can see, it's a J shape. Okay, it has the shape of an expanded J. So, meron tayong tinatawag dito na lesser curvature. Okay, and it is approximately 10 centimeters, and then we have the greater curvature approximately 40 centimeters. So there are divisions. First is the cardia. So this is the smallest part of the stomach which contains abundant mucus glands. Ito, yung cardia. So yung mucus glands natin, the secretions help protect the esophagus from the acids and enzymes of the stomach. And then next is the fundus. Okay, andito. Fundus, this is superior. At pangato, superior. It contains now the gastric glands to secrete acids and enzymes which is involved in the gastric digestion. And then the body, which is the largest portion or the largest region of the stomach, it's a mixing tank, okay? It's for mixing tank for ingested food and secretions produced in the stomach. Okay. Mga andito, mostly it contains gastric glands. And then the pylorus, the fourth division of the stomach is the pylorus. This the curve of the J. Glands here secretes mucus and important digestive hormones, including yung tinatawag nating gastrin. Yung gastrin is a hormone that stimulates the activity of your gastric glands. Then, we have the pyloric sphincter here. Okay, another sphincter. Andito, meron din tayo ditong esophageal sphincter. And then, dito naman, we have the pyloric sphincter. So, this one, it regulates the release of chyme into the duodenum. Pag sinabi natin chyme, this is already the viscous, highly acidic, soapy mixture of partially digested food. So, yon. Bolus, and then once it enters to your stomach, magiging ang tawag na sa kanila ay chyme. Hindi na bolus, kundi chyme na. And then rugae, what is this rugae? It's a prominent folds of the stomach. So as your stomach fills, the rugae flatten out. But when your stomach is full, the rugae almost disappear. So when full, it can expand to contain 1 to 1.5 liters of material. So ganon ka-expand yung ating tiyan. And then we also have here what we call now the gastric glands. Okay, so these are the gastric glands. They secrete gastric juices, somewhat like 1,500 ml a day. They produces 1,500 ml a day. So this gastric pit, okay, gastric pits, ito, it communicates with several gastric glands. Okay, we have the parietal cells. Okay, these parietal cells, they secrete intrinsic factor or yung tinatawag nating glycoprotein. This glycoprotein, it facilitates absorption of vitamin B12. So, vitamin B12. And the parietal cells also secrete hydrofluoric acid. Okay, HCl. With the pH of 1.5 to 2, so it's really highly acidic environment. Okay, so that's the function. Kaya ang tiyan, it's a highly acidic environment. So, what are the other functions of parietal cells? It kills most of the microorganisms ingested with food. What else? They help in the breakdown plant cells, walls, and connected tissues in meat. And of course, the activation of pepsin. Pag sinabi mo kasing pepsin, this is a protein digesting enzyme. Then we also have here the chief cells. These chief cells, they secrete pepsinogen. This pepsinogen will be converted by the acid to pepsin. Yung pepsin na yan, siya yung mag-break down ng proteins to peptides. And meron pa, in the stomach of a newborn, it produces renin para mag-digest siya ng milk. Yun. Okay? Produces para mag-digest ng milk. So there are three phases of the gastric activity. First is the cephalic phase. Okay, this is the cephalic phase. So the gastric secretion begins when you see when you see, smell, taste, or think of food. So this stage is directed by the central nervous system via the vagus nerve and prepares your stomach to receive food. Okay, so very short lang nangyayari to. It's just only 4 minutes. And then step 2 is the gastric phase. So it begins, the gastric